Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sana, mrs.perfectly.imperfect.keto, where being perfect is overrated and being imperfect is appreciated. Today is Wednesday, it is April 12th, so we are at the mid-week of our last days of our spring break from homeschooling. So it is getting to be bittersweet because we have really been enjoying just a lot of time to just spend outdoors. Unfortunately, starting from Sunday, we have had some torrential downpour of rain. It has been much needed and it is much welcomed, but it kind of puts a damper on things with us having off this week for spring break. But we are just rolling with it and enjoying it because definitely our neighborhood is definitely showing that rain was definitely needed. All of the yards in our neighborhood, they are practically almost at the verge of dead grass. So it is very, very welcome to have all of this wonderful rain coming this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into my dinner preparation. Before I get into that, I just want to spend just a very short amount of time addressing. I did have a few of you that had reached out to me just expressing some empathy because my video, it actually took a video about meatballs and chicken balls to attract some negativity, and that is okay. It is to be expected. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, anybody that has a heartbeat is going to experience some sort of negativity in their life. It's just going to happen. And it's certainly going to happen, as my grandmother always had told me. Whenever the Lord's blessings are touching you, the devil's minions are always lurking around the corner. So that is what she said to me many, many years ago when I was a little girl. And that is the mentality that I have today. So it does not bother me at all. It literally just rolls right off of me. I just delete the comments and I just simply just move on. So do not burden yourselves with it. Do not feel bad about it because I certainly do not, and I do not give these attention seekers the attention they are so desperately seeking. So I just wanted to spend some time addressing that. That way, none of you continue to allow it to get to you. And just know my mindset, it is not bothering me one little bit. I'm going to still keep on keeping on. So let's go ahead and get into our dinner preparation. All right, my friends. So here I have some oxtails that we had purchased from a local butcher shop. So this right here is 4.55 pounds. It was the cheapest that we are able to find oxtail locally. So this was $9.99 a pound, and it came out to be $45.45. So this is something that we like to have every once in a while because the cost is definitely expensive, but it is an amazing cut of meat only because the fat content makes this meat so absolutely delicious. I actually prefer having some oxtails opposed to having a ribeye steak. That is how good oxtails is. So if you have not ever tried it before, definitely give it a try. So I'm going to go in with a different method that I use. So I do know on that previous video that I had showed you all when I made some oxtails, I used my Ninja Foodie to pressure cook the oxtails. What I'm going to go in with, because a lot of people have mentioned they do not have a Ninja Foodie, they do not have a crock pot or an Instant Pot. So this is the method that I use prior to when I purchased my Ninja Foodie years ago. So I have the oxtails washed already. Oxtail, also because of the marrow, it does have some impurities, so it is best to just wash your oxtail. So I do have the oxtail already washed. I'm going to put it in this deep pan that I have. So I'm going to just dump them all in there. And just make sure to kind of spread them out a little bit. That way they have their own spot and place in this pot. Okay. So now all I'm going to simply just go in with for these oxtails is I'm just going to season them just with some salt. And aside from just using the salt, if you want to use any other seasoning, if you are keto and you want to go in with any sort of seasonings that are part of your keto way of eating, then you can definitely use that as well. All right, so for me, I'm just going to go in just with some salt is all I'm going to season it with. Okay, so I have the salt already added in there. So I'm just going to let it stay as is. This is going to go in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I already have my oven ready and preheated. And I'm going to add just a half a bottle of some water. Because this is such a fatty cut of meat, it's going to have a lot of its own meat juices that's going to render out of this meat. So this is going to take anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours in the oven at that 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to go ahead and add a lid. So thankfully, this pot that I have is oven safe. So definitely make sure with the manufacturer for your pot to make sure not only the pan or pot is oven safe, also make sure your lid is as well. I definitely don't want anyone to run into any safety issues with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this in. What I like to do at the halfway mark, so about an hour in, hour 25 minutes into the cook time, I just give this a little bit of a stir. But I will go ahead and I will update you all once I get at that halfway mark, and that way you guys can take a look at what that looks like. So stay tuned. All right, my friends, so this oxtail is at the 1.5 cook time already. So I'm going to go ahead and open the lid and just give it a stir is all it really needs at this point. All right, so as you can see, it definitely has browned in color, but it's definitely still on the pale end. So it definitely needs that additional cook time to accomplish that 2.5 hours. All right, but as you can see, just from that half a bottle of water, look at how much broth we have already. So as I said, as this meat is simply just rendering down that fat, it's going to create a lot of just amazing beef juices in this pot. All right, so I'm just going to give it that little bit of a stir, and we are going to put the lid on and go back in the oven for the remaining time. And I will update you all once it gets done. But I did want to show you all, this is not affiliated at all, but I did have someone ask what salt I use. So for over 4 years now, since we started keto, we have been using the Redmond real salts. I appreciate this so much more because this is coming from a salt mine that is in the state of Utah, and it is not, any version of coming from the ocean. So I don't have to worry about any impurities, as when it comes to the salt mine, it allows for a lot more cleaner of a salt. And as you can see here, they also have their label showing here the greatest salt on earth, Utah's finest. So it's definitely coming from Utah. So I just wanted to show this. I purchased it in just simply a 2-pack for their 26 ounce. And I just simply put it in this little snack cup. This actually came with a lunch style Tupperware. And because there's nothing snacky that my husband's taking in his lunch bag, I was able to just kind of use this for my salt. So I'm going to go ahead and just refill that up. This came in perfect timing. The mailman just simply delivered it. So I just wanted to update and share that little bit of information because I did have a few that had asked. All right, so stay tuned for the oxtail getting completed with the cook time. All right, my friends, so my timer went off for that complete 2.5 hours of cook time. Let's go ahead. I just simply took it out the oven, so there you can see that steam releasing itself. But as you can see, there is a substantial difference from that 1.5 hour mark to giving it that additional hour. Now we're going to simply just check to see if we need any more additional time. So I have a fork here. Let's go ahead and just kind of test one out to see if it is currently right now the texture that we want it to be. So as you can see, this is pulling off with the fork. I'm going to go ahead and just try it here. It is really good. So it is salted really well, and I'm really happy with this texture. So it is basically not fall off the bone, but it is very easily definitely coming off of the bone. What I'm going to do, because my husband is not home from work as of yet, I'm going to add the lid back on it, turn off the oven, and I'm going to allow this just kind of bake and cook until he gets home. That way we can still kind of just keep this warm, and you know, the meat will just get a little bit more softer as well. But currently right now it's perfect. It is not tough any longer. So this is definitely an easy, simple way of still getting oxtails cooked. If you do not have an Instant Pot, a Ninja Foodie, a crock pot, you can still do them in the oven. And as you can see, the oven did all the work for me. All right, so stay tuned for my plating up, friends. All right, friends, so I do now have my food plated up. So what we have here is 4 of the chicken meatballs that I made the other day. I simply just have some leftovers that I'm having to use up. Simply, I just put them in my air fryer, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 3 to 4 minutes. I do have a little bit of mustard there, as well as a substantial amount of the oxtails that we had baked in the oven. That was 400 degrees Fahrenheit, half a bottle of some water, and simply just salted them, covered the lid. So it was at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 2.5 hours, and they came out so perfect, so delicious. They smell amazing. I can't wait to dig into those. And we do have 2 over easy eggs salted along with some butter, and I just salt my butter. I purchased unsalted butter. That way, if I was to use the butter for cooking as well, I am able to control the salt. So I'm going to go ahead and dig in while this is all still hot. I want to thank you all for joining me on this Wednesday. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Take care, friends.